Hey guys, we're going to be looking at factoring a trinomial as two binomials. Now, if that's a little too loaded for you guys, then here's some vocabulary that I challenge you to look in on that classroom textbook that you can find on Schoology. You can either go to section 6.4 or maybe just to the glossary in the back and look these up to help your understanding as we move forward. Okay. Anyhow, what I want to do is we're going to look at two examples. I'm going to try the short version. If you can handle that, great. If you can't, then I'll try it again with a more elaborated explanation. So let's look at x squared plus 5x plus 4. So here is your trinomial, okay, three terms, and I will now have to factor it or divide it out so that I have two binomials. Okay. Now, my guess is many of you guys have been here before, so I'm going to put together a skeleton for what these two binomials look like. Okay, and I have x plus and x plus. Now, the mental math requires me to think of two numbers that multiply to give me 4 and add to give me 5. So some of you guys already know the answer, and that's what it is. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to elaborate as to how to do this if the mental math isn't just there at the moment. Okay. However, let me look at one more example kind of quick here. Let's take a look at y squared minus 7y plus 12. Okay. There's my trinomial. I'm going to divide it or factor it into two binomials. So I've got the two sets of parentheses, the y, and now I really can't jump and put pluses because of this negative. So I'll put two negatives, and if I need to change it into a plus, I can easily do so. So same thing, two numbers that multiply to give me 12, right? And you already know where I'm going. That give me a negative 7. So if I try 3 times 4, that gives me 12, but 3 plus 4 is a positive 7. So I'm going to have to try a negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And negative 3 times negative 4 is 12, and negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7. So that's over and done with. Okay. Now, if you need a little more help and that's not making much sense to you, let's go and try this out again. Okay. If you got it, then you can kind of stop here. However, if you're curious, please stay tuned here. Okay. All right. Now, again, here's the same examples, just a little more elaborate. Okay. Now, whenever you have a trinomial, it does fit a generic form, which is the following. Okay, a x squared plus bx plus c. All right, and I'll explain where I'm going with that in a second. So what you want to do is you want to take, I'm going to do this in blue, is the same logic that applied earlier. It's like now it's more visual, more explicit. Okay, you want to first look at C, okay, and you want to break it up into two factors. Call it C1 times C2. So these two numbers multiplied will give you this guy, C. Okay. So I'll underline here, that's C. This is B. And up here is A. If you don't know, which you should, it's a 1. Okay. Now, this is important once it gets a little more complicated. For now, this will always be a 1. So, take advantage of that and really focus on what's happening here. Now, once you do have your list of two numbers that multiply to give you, okay, this number here, what you do next is you take those two numbers. Okay. Okay. And you see which one's going to give you B. Okay, and that's the question. So I'm gonna, if this is a little too intense, let me go ahead and substitute so that you can kind of follow. Okay. All right. So now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create this table. All right. So what I got to do is identify C, which is 4. Okay, and then what I got to do let's see here is, let me erase that right here. Start basically following these instructions. Okay, so there's 4, right? C equals, so 2 numbers, and many times you're going to find more than one combination of 2 numbers. So here we go. Let's start off with 1 times 4. It gives me 4. 2 times 2 gives me 4. What else is there? Now notice that 4 times 1 gives me 4, but that's the same 2 numbers, just switched order. Now, although immediately this is not super important, it's good to know that -1 times -4 also gives me a positive 4, and -2 times -2 also gives me a positive 4. Okay. So that's this part. I found 2 numbers, a whole list of them. Next, what I want to do is I care about adding them to see which one gives me B. So B in this case is 5. Okay, and I'll put a question mark. It's this part right here. So now I gotta basically add them, see what they give me. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, I'll write it out here. Why not? 1 plus 4 equals 5. So that's already a check, so this is my winner. But let me continue with these. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That doesn't match here. Okay, -1 plus -4 equals -5. That's not a match. And -2 plus -2 equals -4. So again, this is my match. So then these are the 2 values that I'll be using to complete my 2 binomials. So I'll go ahead and I set up my skeleton. Okay, and this, when I call it a skeleton, this is the easiest way for you to operate with, so that you don't make any mistake, and now you fill it in. So a 1 goes here, a positive 1, so I make it a +1, and a 4 goes here, a positive 4, so I put it in there, and that's my answer. Now, if you're not sure why that works out, let's go ahead and go the other way. Now let's multiply this or FOIL this to see if we get the answer back. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, 1 times x is 1x, and 1 times 4 is 4. So now I'm going to have, I'll simplify these two are like terms. So I have x squared plus 5x plus 4, and that should match the beginning. Okay, x squared plus 5x plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. Okay, so that's my match. So let's go ahead and do this that second example again. Okay, a little more to the point. So again, if you're struggling, this is what it should look like on your part. Okay. So I've already explained this from the last example. What goes here? Okay, you can pause the video and answer that for yourself. It is a 12, and over here, what goes here? It should be a -7 with a question mark. Okay. So let me go and start producing numbers that multiply to give me 12. So 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay. -1 times -12, -2 times -6, and -3 times -4. Alright. So here's what I know my answer is going to look like, right? Here's a skeleton. Okay. It's going to look like that, the final answer, so keep that in mind. So with that said, now I simply got to add them. I'm going to not write it. I'm just going to do some mental math addition, but if you need a calculator, feel free to do so. So 1 plus 12 is 13. That doesn't match. 2 plus 6 is 8. Not a match. 3 plus 4 is 7. That's negative 7. Not a match. This is negative 13. Not a match. This is negative 8. Not a match. And negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7, which is a match. And this is my winners. So now I'm going to put in negative 3 in here. And I'm going to put in negative 4 in there. And that is how I factor my trinomial into two binomials. Now my challenge to you is go ahead and FOIL this out, multiply it up, make sure that it does indeed match this. I'll do it real quick. And see, I just caught myself in a mistake here. Since I'm working with y squared, I should have y's up front. I apologize. So y times y is y squared, y times negative 4 is negative 4y, and then negative 3 times y is negative 3y, so negative 4y and negative 3y is negative 7y, and negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. It checks out. Guys, thanks for your time, and I'll see you tomorrow.